Welcome back guys. On today's video I'm going to cover off a couple of products from StarvMount. They were kind enough to send these items to me for review and use in our van. However, my views will be my own and I haven't been told I have to say anything or promote anything that I don't agree with. StarvMount specialise in mounting systems for Starlink. We also have a new product that's come out, which is this. This is the 12 volt conversion kit they do. This will work on all of the Starlink products. The only slight exception is the original Generation 2 actuated version, which you need to do a slight modification to the cable, but other than that it goes straight in. Alternatively, you can do what we've done and buy an RJ45 cable and an adapter lead. So let's open up the box and see what you get. And here's the unit itself. On the top is the router output. Down the bottom here is the dish input, which is an RJ45. So anything other than Generation 2 will go straight in here. Other than that, for Generation 2, you do require the adapter plug, which I'll show you shortly. And in the middle here is the 12 volt input. This uprates the voltage to the correct voltage to be used by the satellite. And here's the lead that I'm going to be using. I've got Cat 6 Ethernet cable, on the end to which I've added an adapter lead to take me over to the proprietary Starlink lead. The other option you have is you can get your standard lead you get and you can cut it off and you can just add a plug socket on it for the RJ45 and then add a lead on, which is RJ45, which will go into the router. Because I want the ability to still use my original cable, I've opted not to cut it and I've gone down this route. The second product I have is a mount, which goes on the roof to enable you to quickly mount and unmount the actuated version of the Starlink satellite. They also offer different mounts for all the other systems that are out there as well. They are available on their website and I will leave links below. And here's the mount to go on the roof. On the side here you'll see that there's a bolt hole that goes through. That is so you can put a padlock on to lock the satellite to the roof. You have the cable routing hole here, and on the top you notice there is a cap. This cap pulls out and it locks into the original hole that you would normally mount the satellite in when you put it on. Now the good thing about this is inside here there's a holder point to put your plug. You then place it back down inside and it makes it so it's weather sealed. That way you can take the satellite on and off without any problems and worried about the cable being exposed to the weather. And this is what it looks like once you put the cap on and sealed it all back down. And this is how it will sit on the roof of the van. Now that I've covered off everything that we have, let's go on and install it to the van. The next job is to get the cable in from the Starlink into the van. On the roof I've got this power box, which I've adapted one of the openings here, which normally takes one of these lugs, but it's not big enough to take the RJ45 one. So I've used the Dremel to home the hole out a bit better, so I'm able to get that through, and then I've put the nut on the other side to hold it. There is a gasket on the outside that makes it seal, and then in here goes the cable, which is going to go round to the Starlink, and this makes it watertight. The next job to do is to get the cable from this plug here down inside the van, and it will then meet up with the StarvMount module, which enables us to go to 12 volts. Let's get in the van and do that next section. So we're now inside the van, and the hole we need to get the cable through is just there. It goes up through the installation. I have filled it with bowls, that needs to be pulled out. And we're going to mount the StarvMount on here. So the cable's only got to come down there, a very short run into here. And that's the cable now in place. It plugs into the back quite nicely there. That goes down inside the van. What we've got to do now is put the insulation back in here and put the lid back on, and then that's that part sealed up. Now on to the next stage of installing the Starlink. We're going to be adding this to the roof rack. Good thing for us is this will slide straight onto our roof rails. Let's jump up on the roof and get it in place, and then we can add the cables. So I'm now up on the back of the van. The good thing for us is we've got the roof bars which have got the slot in it, so we just in case of pull the end off. Yeah, a bit of water. And this will just slide on here. like so. It's just a case of now doing the bolts up. Now the mount's in place, I want to put the cable in. So we've taken some trunk in, which the RJ45 cable's going through. There's a little bit here which is a bit longer, sorry, a bit longer on the cable than the trunking, because this piece of trunking goes over the top, which then seals over the top of the other trunking and then joins into the adapter lead that I've got for the Starlink, and that will basically pull up against there and we can seal that tight as well. So hence changing to a different size trunking. I didn't want this going down the whole way, there's no need for it, but this last section it's ideal for that. So first thing I do, I run the cable through so it overlaps onto the other cable, and then we can seal this up. So just run it down like so. Plugs come out the other end. So I'm just going to drop that over the top. I'm going to slide that back to there and seal that part now, so that now becomes completely watertight and we'll end up with no water in the tube. And then the other end, where it overlays at this end, repeat the process and just seal that off, and then we've got a fully shielded cable from the weather. Now I've sealed up the end. I've not sealed up the middle part yet because I want a bit of movement in it, and I'll seal that once it's up on the van. We'll plug this in, run the cable down, and then the box at the other end, which I showed you earlier, is where we're going to run the cable in through. So after much messing about with the cable, finally got it up on the roof. It's in the trunking, and the cable for the part that goes into the Starlink is just sitting there at the moment. It will go up into the mount. Runs all the way over into the box on the other side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Starlink up, and I'm going to use the standard 240 volt part of it just to check that everything this end works. Don't want to add too many things into the mix initially, otherwise you'll never find a problem if there is one. So just going to check all the cables, make sure it all picks up and all works. We're now fired up. Just got the Starlink in place down here. Connected through the cable, through the adapter, onto here, up through the roof, and then onto the dish, which is currently sat in place on the back corner. Just got to log into the app and then just set it up. I'm now in the garage and I've organised the routers. I had to do a bit of manoeuvring stuff around to get it in. So I've now got the main brain router, which is going to be this one here, which is going to be doing all of the offloading between the 4G and the Starlink. And then on the right hand side there is the one that's going to be handling all the Wi-Fi. Now again, the reason why I've done this is because whilst the Nighthawk is a decent router, it does seem to be struggling with how much I'm asking it to do. So I'm literally going to switch over to using that just for 4G, and it will only do that. I won't worry about the Wi-Fi or anything like that. All the Wi-Fi is going to be done by this one now, and then this one here will manage all of the interactions between everything, and then it will just send a signal which is required to go down 4G into the Netgear. So it's got a lot less load on it, so it should run far better. The next thing to do now is start wiring it all in. I've got my fuse box over here, which I'm going to run into with the 12 volts, because they only require 12 volts at 1 amp. So I'm just going to run the cable out of each of them, pull onto a Wago, and then into the fuse box there. So I'll put a 5 amp fuse on that because I won't need any more than that. I might even see if I can put a 2.5 on it if it comes to it, but I don't think I've got any 2.5s, but ultimately a 5 will be more than sufficient. In order to power this, I've gone and purchased these. I'll leave a link down below for them. They're basically just a 12 volt plug, same as what goes in the back of them, which will take me off to a cable, so I don't have to cut the mains lead that comes with it on the adapter. I can leave that as is, and then I'll just Wago from this into the fuse box. I've now put all the RJ45 cables in, and as you see, the routers are now in the garage. That's now connected up to the 4G router, the Netgear one that I've got. Just now got to add in the Starlink. I have the Dishy No AC here, which I showed you earlier. It's just a case of connecting up the router to the top, the satellite to the bottom here, and then adding the 12 volt power. I am going to put a switch on it so I can turn it on and off as required. I'm just going to mount it up in the corner here. This cable here comes down from the roof and has got the Starlink on the other end of it, and the one in the other corner there is to go through to the network. So let me get this in place and then we'll start running it up. And that's the Dishy No AC mounted. We've got the power coming in here, going back to a switch, the satellite connected on this side, and on the other side is the router, which is in the back of the van. Right, it's now in and powered, so I've combined onto the fuse box there. Sorry about that, light's a wee bit bright. And then I've got the Ethernet cable from the Nighthawk going into this. Also, I've got the Ethernet cable from the Starlink going into this, and then the lead from this goes out into the router. From the router here, this does all the Wi-Fi, and also I've got the RJ45 for the front of the van, where I've got a hookup so I can hardwire my laptop in. Now it's just a case of getting onto the computer and configuring it. So we've now got the internet working in the van. We've got the Starlink up on the roof, and we've also got the 4G running. We have a video running quite nicely there, and we are only consuming 69 to 71 watts. Considering that the van takes around about 40 to 50 watts as standard, means you're only drawing 30, 40 watts with the Starlink and everything else running, which is actually really good considering how much it draws when you're using it on the 240. And that is with both the other two routers running and the 4G router running. So saved money, saved energy, working really well. I will leave links in the description below for where you can buy all the parts featured within this video. This will include the StarvMount, which is on top of the van to hold the actuated Starlink. They also do mounts for all other versions of Starlink, and links to the Dishy No AC, which is the 12 volt conversion, which again will run on all versions of Starlink, as well as a link to FreedomSat, which is where we purchased our Starlink from, along with links to the routers we used. If you have any questions or comments, please do leave them below. If you did enjoy the video, of course hit the like button. Don't forget the subscribe button and notification bell to hear when the next video goes live. See you in the next video.